Hey everyone, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Hopefully you've seen or will be seeing my previous video I posted about MATLAB, MuPad, taking your trading idea from, let's say, a research paper, being able to run it through the MuPad, be able to express it symbolically in that type of notation, and then be able to create custom MATLAB M functions from that and be able to bang out C++ code, as well as to be able to also deploy them into Simulink system models, where you can then generate your C++ code as well as your HDL code, hardware description language code, for FPGA, which of course is the absolute lowest latency code out there you can get for high frequency trading. Now, you've probably seen this dude looking at a chalkboard of algorithms and stuff. Well, we're at that point now, or at least I am. And I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of people that helped me get through this point. As you know, a lot of this is all self-taught. I could be off the rails quite easily anywhere down the line. But thankfully I have people like Paul Cottrell and Dr. Ernie Chan to help keep me straight and narrow, and being able to use them as resources to make sure that my algorithms, my MATLAB trading functions are exactly as they should be, and I can rely on something like the leverage and power of MATLAB, be able to bang out my C, C++, or HDL code. Now, if you are new to all this, thank you very much for joining us. We run an academy, of course, with a bunch of courses, including a custom trading platform, so you can take all these DLLs that are generated, and again, you can generate them with a static library for Linux or Mac, OS 10 if you want. Sky's the limit. That's the power of MATLAB. And then be able to, as I said, generate a dynamic link library or DLL from your C or C++, and pretty well implement it into a trading platform that we've got. So we're now moving into a complete end-to-end story with the custom trading platform that we've got, and that is got all the plumbing we can imagine, with the IQ feed for all our market data, as well as all the code that we need to generate for submissions and entries into the market through interactive brokers, because we're going to be starting out real small, pretty well as small as you can get. So we're going to start working on our algorithms. We're going to start working on our strategies. I have talked about it a few weeks ago. The battle of the strategies will be underway with this new workflow that we've got. Got to clarify a few things, but I do need to say a big shout out to a few people that have helped me get to this point. As you know, we've got probably in excess of 5,000 people on within the quantlabs.net community after almost 3.5 years now. That's amazing numbers. If it's not through the YouTube channel, if it's not through the LinkedIn group, if it's not through our growing Facebook group, or the website itself, and of course our email list, and of course our meetups as well, it does run up to some bigger numbers than I ever imagined. Now, I gotta put a shout out to everybody that is part of this community. I have now learned to resource myself with you guys and gals. Things like production server came up recently, and some other things. And of course, algorithms is another big area that is a big unknown to me. We've got a lot of people like myself that where math is not a strong piece of the puzzle for us. And there are others that are really good at math, but not so good at coding, and vice versa, and implementing and integrating and all that. So we got a pretty good community, if you ask me. And of course, as I said, if we got people like Ernie Chan, Paul Cottrell are part of this, things will get better. Now, as I said, we've got some shout-outs. We've already put out some shout-outs to them. Some other people have been part of the community and been very active in contributing. Thanks goes out to, of course, the New York City contact. He knows who he is. He's putting out some really interesting things, contributions to the blog. And always is probably our most popular for the day. That comes from him. as well as we've got, now I call recently added, Mr. FPGA, who's got some interesting demos happening for taking things like Simulink models. That's why we're moving towards Simulink, and always have been and most likely will be with his new workflow, to be able to generate HDL code for the FPGA boards that he is working with. Of course, that is the same as saying high frequency trading at the lowest latency. So again, there's one other person that we got to remember that's not as active. I know they're out there. His name is, of course, the London Quant. Now, to be honest, of anybody out there that I have run across over the last 3.5 years, most successful is easily this person from London, who is obviously a quant. But his real forte is in software architecture, and he's doing extremely well. We're up to a certain point. So again, without all the people that I have mentioned, we wouldn't be where I'm at. And the question becomes, where do we go? Well, you've hopefully seen the new workflow demo on YouTube with the MATLAB, with the generating from UPad, and being able to generate C and MATLAB M functions with that. And then, of course, being able to implement them into Simulink models. Now, it's a very exciting development. We've now passed the stage of proof of concept. And now we can start, as I said, entering into that real phase of the battle of the strategies, using, working research papers and whatnot, being able to generate algorithms. And we'll be posting those, of course, on the recently created Quant Elite membership. And that is where a lot of that growth will be, because we'll be providing MATLAB M functions, Simulink model files, custom C code, C++ code, as well as what's already in there. Of course, I mentioned the trading strategy, as well as a lot of overview of different algorithms and what you can do with MATLAB. And of course, we've got R in there as well. Now, a lot of people might be asking why I'm not using languages like R and Python. I've had recent, I call them scares. With alone, Python is a very good example with a 2.7 and 3.3 major releases, let alone what will the next one be. It's just, for me, a dangerous path to go down, to have scripts written and then will they or won't they work on the next major release of that language. R is no different. When I have various different R scripts, out comes the new R 3.0 and it breaks the script. For me, I don't like to work that way. I like my languages to have what they call no-break policies. MATLAB is one. And even if they do decide to deprecate anything, you're going to have at least probably 3 years to change that. Whereas we all know .NET, C++, and Java don't have or do have those no-break policies. That's why I don't use R. That's why I don't use Python, because it's not future-proof. It's not future-proof at all. I'll let people decide if they want to use those languages. By all means, don't let me stop you. On top of that, I'll be using other tools like Excel add-ins that I have, very exciting ones to help control my risk management and some other very powerful things. I've also mentioned IQ Interactive Brokers will be a chosen broker for now before we start live trading. And of course, how could I forget charting and databases? Again, this is being mentioned for all the new people that are new to the group. And we're getting quite a few, and there's a lot of people that are becoming hardcore loyalists to this community, which is great. Thank you again for being part of it. I hope we can help implement something for you and make you profitable and automate your trading for you. As I said, we have the charting. We've got various different packages that we've looked at, including DevExpress for .NET, very awesome library for charting. Some other ones I'd love to be able to use, but at this point we're not going to go with them. But they're very slick. As well as the databases. I've also looked at all the different databases in the past, ranging from all the NoSQL, which includes, of course, Redis, Mongo, Cassandra, blah, blah, blah. SQL Server, which is our chosen database with the new SQL Server 2014. Played with it. there's going to be some excitement coming out of that, and I've also looked at MySQL, but it just doesn't have the power of what SQL Server brings to the table. So where do we go from here? Well, I've mentioned all the exciting stuff, focusing on C, C++, and some of what we already currently got in the Quant Elite membership. So I'm hoping to start really focusing on algorithms and trading strategies, obviously using quant techniques and some other cool stuff. But if you have not checked out the Quant Elite, I would highly encourage you to do that, because that's where the value is going to be. And of course, using MATLAB. Now, I've been going on about MATLAB for a while. A lot of people say they can't afford MATLAB. Well, don't think I don't have you covered, because I do. I have demoed last week that with the new MATLAB 2014A that I have the capability to distribute royalty-free executables, window executables of trading scripts, M scripts, or whatever, and port them or distribute them as exe, self-contained exe files for Windows. And if I really had to, I could distribute them as Java jar files for all our wonderful Linux and Mac friends. And of course, I can probably turn some of them also into DLLs, Dynamic Link Libraries for .NET. And doesn't stop there. We also can do the same thing with Excel. How could I forget? We got to also mention the production server for MATLAB, which we're still working on, but we're getting close to a working demo of it, and it's pretty awesome. So we've got a lot of things covered, a lot of interesting technologies, a lot of new options to play with, and most of all, the trading algorithms and the trading strategy using quantitative techniques to get us there. And hopefully you'll be part of it. And like I said, thank you very much for being part of it. And a special note to, I want to leave it to the end, for all our wonderful moaners and haters. Without you, I wouldn't be driven. Without you, I wouldn't be able to implement things as much. Because you guys and gals that hate and troll drive me. And thank you very much for enabling me to do that. I like to be challenged, but I do think this is probably the best workflow that I have, and it's easily the best one in terms of getting it up and running in a rapid way. And again, it's done visually with the scientific notation way through the map, through the MuPad, and of course being able to develop and get your trading models visually built with the power of Simulink. So hopefully you see the power of it, you see the value, and again, thank you very much for listening and listening to me blab and confuse myself with utter nonsense that I'm now probably running off the top of my head. Thank you very much, and hopefully we can grow together and profit later.